Hey, what's going on, guys? Yeah, today we're in Bev and I's apartment. It's really hot outside. I love the sky deck. It's amazing, but yeah, I had a busy day today. Wanted to get this done, get the next video out. 3 things right now that you could be doing to enhance your fat loss goals, get linear weight loss, stuff like that. And since I am inside, you might hear a little jingling going on because the 2 pups are here, so don't let that distract you though. Yeah, so number 1, most people will say, if I say top 3 things, most people will just be like, eat less. Could probably work, but might not be your problem. Eating less might actually be worse for you. If you're already eating nothing, eating less is gonna do even more nothing for you. You actually need to eat more to get weight loss if that's the type of situation you're in. So that might not be the best bet. You know, do more activity or drop your carbs, or all these things could lead to more weight loss. But here's 3 things that I found that you can start incorporating right now to help with your fat loss goals. And number 1, you probably already know all 3, but very few people actually take the step and engage in them. So number 1 is to drink more water. Very simple. Every time I have a new client or someone joins a program, I obviously send them their workouts and their meal plan, and upon that I also get in detail about the amount of sleep I want you to get, the amount of water I want you to drink every day, detailed about your macros, timing of the macros, stuff like that. And it seems that every time they always harp on the water thing, right? So most people go, wow, they either admit straight up that they have no idea how much water they drink and they're terrible at drinking enough water, or they say a gallon of water is way too much. I always say at least a gallon of water a day, shoot for 2 gallons. Most people say that is impossible, but it's very possible. And if you don't know how much water you're drinking already, I highly recommend you start keeping track so you can see where you are. Don't change anything about your water consumption. For the next 3 days, go along however you would go along your day and keep track of how much water you drink, and you'll be amazed at how little water you actually consume on a day-to-day basis. And it could be a very big variable on why you're not able to lose fat. The number 2 second most popular beverage in America is water, which is great. But number 1 is soda or pop, you know, and that's terrible. So even if I were to just be speaking to the general population about everything, simply switching the cans or bottles of soda you drink every day with water will drastically increase your fat loss. It's taking away all that sugar and everything from the soda. It does absolutely nothing for you, provides no nutritional value, and switching it with water will increase your weight loss. You'll lose weight, I guarantee it. But to go a little more into it, you know, our bodies are basically made of almost 70% water. So obviously water is essential to our health. We'll die in a certain amount of time if we don't drink water. So there's also been a big correlation between water consumption and weight loss. And that's because water does make you feel full. Another simple little method that you could do if you're not someone who, you know, keeps track of your macros and knows how much you're eating every day, knows what each meal consists of, weight, measurements, everything like that, and you just kind of eat healthy and you have a healthy lifestyle and go about it like that, simply drink 24 ounces of water, 24 ounces a bottle, or just fill up your shaker cup, 24 ounces of water, guzzle that down before you eat. You'll eat less. There's a correlation between that because water just it fills you up, so it equals to less overall calories consumed, which leads to weight loss, obviously. It's just, you know, water is it's just very important. You know, it transports nutrients throughout the body into your working muscles and flushes toxins out of the body, which toxins have been proven to blunt weight loss and fat loss because they get into the fat cells and it doesn't make the fat cells readily available or easily efficient to just make them available for energy. So it flushes toxins out of the body, helps with digestion, you know. It does a lot of things for us. And if you work out consistently, you need more water than someone who doesn't really do anything. You know, just a 2%, if your body or your muscles and everything are 2% dehydrated, you have a drastic decrease in performance, what research has shown. last thing you want is a decrease in performance if you're looking to lose fat, build muscle, and look better and feel better. So yeah, number one, just drink more water. Plain and simple, you can start doing it right now. What I do is I have my shaker bottle, it's 24 ounces. And what I shoot for is 2 gallons of water a day. So I fill up the shaker, 24 ounces, and I put a piece of tape on my shaker. And as soon as I drink 24 ounces is gone, I put a little check on the piece of tape. Every time I complete a shaker, 24 ounces of water, I put another check. And since I know that, 2 gallons of water is around like 260 ounces or somewhere around 256 ounces, I think, I know that I have to drink about 10 or more of the shaker bottles, because then 10 bottles would be 240 ounces, very close to 2 gallons. So I always make sure I try and drink 10 of those, 10 checks on the tape. And I also drink, green tea and coffee throughout the day. Green tea and coffee throughout the day, so I don't even count that. I have whey protein shake, don't count the water down. So can you stop? So I usually definitely get, dog hair in my mouth. I usually get 2 gallons of water a day. So start keeping track, drink more water, okay? Number two, might seem obvious, again, is get more sleep. If you are doing pretty much everything right, if you know you're drinking enough water, you know you're eating healthy, you know you're working out 3 to 5 times a week, you know you're doing cardio, you know you're doing all this stuff, but you still are not losing weight, you're not getting the progress you want, sleep could very well be your problem. And it's crazy because I think research has shown that about 35% of Americans are sleep deprived. And it could be very big reason why you're not, accomplishing your weight loss goals that way. When you don't get enough sleep, it leads to cravings, especially for sweet and salty foods. It doesn't lead to cravings of salad and healthy stuff, right? If you've ever done that, you didn't get enough sleep the next day, you just have cravings for like everything. It's a big reason why you're able to gain weight easily if you don't get enough sleep and you just have cravings and stuff like that. And then along with the cravings, your frontal lobe in your brain gets impaired when you're sleep deprived. And when that gets impaired, it leads to poorer food choices. So along with getting cravings of sweet and salty food, now you have impaired decision making. So now it's more easily to reach for shitty food where it leads to weight gain down the road. And another thing that sleep deprivation leads to is increasing cortisol, which is obviously our stress hormone. Also leads to an increase in ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone, makes you feel hungry. With those two together, you could already see how you start to eat too much food or you can gain weight. Along with those two increasing, however, sleep deprivation also decreases leptin production. And if you've seen a bunch of my videos, a bunch of my articles on ironmanmagazine.com and on our website, I talk a lot about leptin. Is because leptin is a very important hormone in lipolysis. It makes it gets fat out of the cells and it makes them readily available for energy. Sleep deprivation decreases that hormone. So you have a decrease of leptin and you have an increase in ghrelin and cortisol. Easy to see how you're just gonna have poor food choices. Fat isn't going to be readily efficient and ready for energy, and then you're just going to eat junk food and you satisfy those cravings, right? And another big thing is your natural growth hormone production. When you're in deep REM sleep, that is when the most amount of anabolic hormones get released. That's why we say while you're sleeping, you're growing, right? You're not growing in the gym, you're doing the complete opposite in the gym while you're working out. You're tearing your muscle fibers, you're breaking them, doing the complete opposite of what it takes to build stronger. But you need to do that in order to grow. And when you grow is when you rest and when you sleep. But sleep deprivation and not getting enough sleep impairs your natural growth hormone production. And growth hormone is your anti-aging facilitator, and it's a huge component in fat loss and building new muscle tissue. So if you're not getting enough sleep, that important hormone is impaired. So it leads to fatigue, and it leads to you're not getting rewarded with the progress you want to see. You're not in an optimal state to build more muscle, to start losing fat and start losing weight. You're not in the prime efficiency to accomplish all those goals, simply because you're not getting enough sleep. And recently they did a study at the University of Chicago, and they found that just 4 days of just disrupted sleep patterns, poor sleep patterns, led to a 30% drop in insulin sensitivity. And if you don't already know about insulin sensitivity, that's bad because the more insulin resistant you become, the fats and lipids in your bloodstream will start producing more insulin. And so that excess insulin is just going to be stored in your liver and fat cells. And that's the main reason why you're not getting enough sleep, and then that insulin sensitivity dropping, your body becomes less efficient at processing it. So now when your body becomes less efficient at processing it, now the fats and lipids are creating more insulin in your body. Your body has nothing to do with the insulin except, store it. So with all those things said about sleep deprivation, get your ass in bed earlier and start sleeping more. Some of you be like, oh, well, I gotta get up at 5 a.m. Go to bed earlier the night before. Get some naps in, during the day. And there's a way that you can get more sleep. If you're constantly going to bed at 11, 12 a.m., you gotta get up at 5. You get 5 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep. It's not enough. Find a way. Go to bed 2 hours earlier the night before. Do something that will help you with your sleeping, and it's gonna lead to your results. It could be the reason why you're not getting the progress you want to see. And number 3, put simply, is just start sprinting. Now, I'm not saying that there's no place for aerobic low intensity cardio. It will absolutely depend on your goal. If your goal is to train for a marathon, or your goal is to increase your aerobic capacity, stuff like that, you will obviously do aerobic and low medium intensity cardio because that's your goal. But for the sake of this video, and your main goal is to get leaner and lose more body fat, you need to start going to the anaerobic side, which is resistance training and anaerobic cardio, so just HIIT and sprints and stuff like that. Because aerobic cardio, low intensity cardio, over time, it leads to muscle loss, muscle wasting, because it increases cortisol to a very high extent. And it also downregulates your metabolism, your metabolic rate. So along with those two things, this leads to a lower TDEE, which is total daily energy expenditure. It leads to less calories being expended every day for you. And along with that, obviously, if you keep up with the same eating patterns, but your body has adapted to burning less calories, you're going to be over your caloric maintenance. It's going to lead to weight gain. By switching that aerobic, side and the cardio you're veering to anaerobic and sprinting, HIIT, doing some type of intervals where where the max time you're giving all out is 85 to 90% of your VO2 max. This type of training has been shown to lead to increase in muscle tissue. Now, obviously, the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn every day, which is going to lead to more fat loss and weight loss. And upon leading to more muscle mass by doing this type of cardio, it's mainly due to the increase in hormones such as testosterone and growth hormone. It's research has shown that it improves and increases the production of those two powerful hormones, which is why it has such amazing benefits. And then obviously upon doing the sprints, increasing lean muscle tissue, HIIT and sprints, it has the amazing ability for the EPOC. Okay, this is exercise, post-exercise oxygen consumption. This is when your body responds by using more oxygen after the workout has been over to complete the body's demands. Because by doing sprints and doing HIIT, doing all out, cycling with resistance up, or running up the stairs as fast as possible, running sprints up the hill, all this stuff, it leads to a greater demand for oxygen after your workout is over. The thing with low intensity and aerobic cardio is once you're done with the session, that's it. That's the amount of calories you burn. And although treadmills and all those, calculators, they're not all accurate, but let's just say, you did 30 minutes of incline walking or aerobic cardio on the treadmill and it said you burned 350 calories. Let's say that's 100% accurate. That's all you burned, 350, that's done. So after you're done doing your HIIT, your sprints up the hill, the high resistance on the bike, cycling as fast as possible, whatever you're doing, as soon as you're done with that and you know, you get some water, you get in your car, you go home, you shower, you eat, you start reading, you watch TV, you're still burning calories during that time because that's the effect that HIIT has. It's also called the afterburn. EPOC is called the afterburn. And that's a big reason why it's so effective. With low intensity aerobic cardio, you don't get that EPOC effect. You don't get that afterburn effect. So yeah, those would be my top 3. You know, you have to start drinking more water. You got to get more sleep and just start sprinting. And a great just example I can give you, as of right now, if you guys follow me on Instagram and stuff like that, you'll see I post videos. And one of the recent ones I posted was one of Bev and I doing our HIIT. And currently, we're doing about 15 seconds all-out effort, and 15 seconds all-out effort, followed by 45 seconds of just rest, low-intensity effort, and then we're repeating that cycle 11 to 12 times. And for our HIIT, the treadmill is tough for HIIT because when you have to start increasing the speed of the treadmill like 8 to 10 seconds before it's time for you to start sprinting because it takes so long for the treadmill to catch up, So I never recommend the treadmill for HIIT. I recommend the stationary bike because you can just start bumping up that resistance like 3 seconds before it's time for you to start doing your all-out effort. And then you can start cycling as fast as possible. And then you can just decrease the resistance right away once it's ended. The stationary bike is great. Sprints outside, because as soon as it's time, you can just take off. You don't have to wait, like the treadmill, wait for the speed to go up. And I also like doing body weight movements. So right now, for 15 seconds straight, Bev and I are just doing as many burpees as possible. Usually in 15 seconds, I can get about 7 to 8 of them. And then we just take like a 30-45 second break. So when I do 15 seconds of burpees, she's keeping track of the time. As soon as I'm done, I take like a little 10-second break. She gives me the stopwatch. I say go. She does her 15 seconds of burpees. And then we just keep alternating like that. And you could absolutely feel how the heart rate is just, it increases after those first 2 burpees, and then it just stays freaking elevated for the next 11 to 12 times. So that'd be a thing I would give you. Depends on your fitness level. You can go up to 15 cycles. You can increase the time from 15 all out to 30 seconds all out, and then 30 seconds rest. There's many different variables you could do, which research has shown has similar effects. But if I would say you haven't done HIIT in a while, I would just say start lower, 10 to 15 seconds, all out sprints, all out cycling, whatever. And then give yourself a good rest. Give yourself like a minute rest or a minute and a half rest, and then go back to it. Okay, so the top 3, get more sleep, drink more water, start sprinting, okay? And yeah, we'll be back with you guys for another video soon. As always, like it, subscribe, share it if you think it's gonna help some people. And keep a lookout if you're already on the list for my flexible dieting, how to calculate your macros ebook. It's coming very soon, promise you guys. And if you didn't, I'll link it in the comment section. Click on the link, get your email on that list, and it's gonna be a really, really great book. It's one of my favorites so far that I've written, and I'm really excited about it. So until next time, guys, God bless. Take care.